Welcome to Real Life Real Estate, your inside look at life, listings, and everything real. I'm Wendy Wendorf, Homestead Realty. I'm an agent right here in Washington County. And today we're talking about, I'm so excited about this. I'm so impressed, that's what it is. Today we're talking about taking chances, believing in yourself, and refusing to fail with 3 babies. So my guest today is Caroline Thomas, a single mom and a realtor at Homestead Realty, and you're taking over zip code 53172, South Milwaukee. I'm super excited to talk about you. I'm just so impressed with you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Let's just jump right into it. What was life like before being a realtor, especially as a mom of 3?
Wow, so life for me, I really was very intentional as far back as I can remember. I always knew I wanted to do real estate.
Oh, really?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
But, you are, I would say, indoctrinated to think you have to get a degree first, right? So I went and pursued my bachelor degree. I ended up being fortunate enough to work for a nonprofit business that was in a business improvement district.
Nice.
And so I got to work with all sorts of stakeholders in the community. And what I realized, Wendy, is that out of everyone that has a seat at the table, the most important people are the ones that actually own the properties. The ones that are paying the taxes. Their buy-in is what matters most. And so I knew then that I wanted to be a realtor because I wanted to empower people to own real estate.
Empowering people, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. Was there a defining moment that you decided okay, I'm quitting my full-time job, I'm going to be a realtor?
Well, it's funny. I actually was encouraged to take a job doing timeshare sales, which was terrible for me.
Yes.
It was not a product I believe in.
It's a tough gig, too.
And it also caused me to move away, which I was very isolated out there. When I gave birth to my daughter, my second child, I knew I had to move back. So I came back, I was doing property management for a while, still knew that real estate was on my horizon. And so with the support that I had there, I was able to slowly transition. So I actually started doing real estate part-time while working my full-time job. And then I was finally able to make the transition.
That is really great because you joined Mike's team and now you're just taking over that market. Tell me about your kids, because that's important. I'm always impressed with this too. You have kids in all different ages, so it's hard to wrangle all those kids in with all the activities. Yes.
My kids are all spread out in ages. I have a high schooler, I have a middle schooler, and I have a toddler. But what's great is that they fully are proud of me and support me in my work. And so I just manage that by having the older ones help with the little one. If I have to run out and do a showing, I try to stop home and cook dinner. Keep the kids fed, and they'll be calm, right? So just trying to manage that. But what's great about working at Homestead is having the support there, and so I'm able to set my schedule. I'm able to schedule tours to work around my schedule, and just help balance everything that's going on in my life.
I'm also impressed because you have these kids, but you have these wacky hobbies. So she's the kind of person where you find her on Facebook and you're like, what is she doing? Karate, chopsticks? I don't understand what is going on. So tell me about that a little bit and how that came about and why a mom of 3, full-time realtor, why that hobby is so important to you.
Wendy, what I found, I was married for a long time and I really focused on just being a good mom, right? But what I found is that if mom's not happy, I'm going to be a terrible mom. And so I knew that you have to invest in yourself as a wife, as a mother. So when I take the time to do things for myself, which is a jiu-jitsu or going to the gym and my work or going on a vacation without the kids, that helps me stay balanced. It helps me recalibrate. It helps me stay a happy mom and a healthy mom.
And you're always reaching for another goal in your hobbies and your career, right?
You have to. Mm-hmm. And I know you're the same way.
Yes, yeah. Very goal driven. Let me just get through this. I was telling my friend, because she's like, you're super busy. I think as like a former mom of 100 kids and a single mom, when I'm feeling, this job is great because like when you're feeling kind of poor, you can hustle up a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to California at the end of the month for my niece's graduation. So I'm like, am I going to have money for June? Because I think it's really important for people to know. Real estate is 100% commission. That's why I'm impressed. We don't sell carpet, or like I came from roofing, where you would make like a nice salary that would kind of like pay your rent or your mortgage, and then you had goals, right? This is 100%. You can drive someone in a car for 30 times, and if they don't buy,
you don't get paid.
You don't get paid.
Yep.
You don't get paid.
Yep.
So for me, that's why I'm so impressed. And for me, like hustling it up. I'm very goal. And I love it. I love people. So when people are like, well, you're just in it for the money, and that's what I heard from you. I'm not in it for the money. I love the hustle of it. And I love people. I love everybody's story. I love the goal of getting like Grandma Ethel to the assisted living and getting her the most money possible for her house, or finding that young family that finally got a pre-approval because they were on track, they paid down some debts, and finding them a house that is at a good value. And that's what I heard from you, like empowering people with real estate.
Absolutely. And bringing the solution. A lot of people, we have to find the solution for them, and it might be one time in the transaction, and it might be several times, but it is such a great feeling to get people from point A to point Z. And whether, like you said, they're first-time home buyers, or somebody who needs to downsize, or somebody who's lost their family and now they're selling the estate. But it truly is about helping people where they're at.
Right. So it all comes to you. We understand you kind of as a person. We understand you as a mom. What was your first, so you get your real estate license after like kind of doing the dance around it. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of did the dance around it. What was your first big win as a realtor?
So I had a listing in the South Milwaukee area, quite a large price point, and I knew that they were talking to other realtors. I stayed in communication with them. It's not often we win it on the first meeting. I know you're a rock star, and sometimes you get it, but it takes nurturing that relationship. I had to do several things as I stayed in touch. I found out Jim had to have knee surgery.
Right.
I found out they had a bunch of stuff they didn't know what to do with. They also had another personal situation going on. So you stay in touch with these people, and for me, that was the victory, because they saw me as human and I saw them as human. And to them, it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about what they were going to do with the sale. It was about closing that chapter, but there were so many roadblocks to get there. And mind you, I was helping them all along before a contract was even signed.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm doing too. Yeah, because I love people, and if they choose not to use me, I'm always like, your loss. No one's going to get you more money. No one's going to get you there smoothly. Like for you, Jim, it was about getting somewhere smoothly, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's about top dollar. Sometimes it's about finding them a house. I'm always like working for the deal to make it happen, and for my people.
And it doesn't have to be right now.
No.
And that's the biggest thing I express to people. It all comes in its time. And you and I are both not the type to have to stress and make it happen right there.
Right.
Because we know we just stay engaged. And now they're my biggest cheerleaders, right? Those are your best cheerleaders, because they can speak to you genuinely how you are as a person and not just the sale. Yeah,
we do it all for the review. So just remember that. We're doing it for the review, right? So how do you juggle the demands of being in real estate and a full-time mom? I think you kind of touched on that.
Yeah, I think it's important to have your good support system. So
yours?
Well, I found that, for one, my brokerage is wonderful. I mean, we are led by a woman broker and her husband. And so being that they're a family, they understand the family needs. They're very active with their family. So having that atmosphere there, having the staff who is there just to pick up a call so you can get things moving along. And then when it comes to my family, my kids, like I said, they're very supportive. They help one another. They help me. And yeah.
I think we work at a brokerage where, like, she has called me out of the blue and you were going to take like $1 million listing, but they weren't going to give you like enough commission. And I'm like, take the listing, because you don't know what that's going to bring you, right? Treating people right brings you people back to you, right?
Absolutely.
What you give into the world comes right back to you. So, what does a typical day look like for you?
Same with you, Wendy. I am up. We are on it. We have our routines. So I know you always, anytime.
You're not doing. I'm lucky enough. My kids are grown. You are getting diapers for daycare. You are doing so much more in the morning.
Yes.
That I just like remember all these years of like taking a broom and hitting my boys like get up. You know what I mean? It was just like so crazy. Or remembering it's green shirt day for Kaylee. Like where the hell is a green shirt? You're doing way much more than me. But I like your style. You're not having like your toddler is at a daycare Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and that's when you're doing your stuff.
The daycare is a lifesaver. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without being able to put my kid in school. He goes to a great daycare. It's like a mini school. They post these photos on the little app, so it's very fun to get to see what he's doing. But truly, it's about having that routine. I mean, he lays out his clothes in the morning, gets himself together, packs his own little lunch. So just having that structure in place is how I get through the day.
You know, it's like so funny. I'm thinking about your story, and you've been setting yourself up to be a realtor, right? So you were like, when I was married, I was just like trying to be a really, really good mom. And then I had these other jobs. And then when it happened, because you spent that time being such a good mom and showing your kids love. And, you know, we're a family, we all get along, we take care of each other. Now you're lucky enough to say, listen, I got a showing at 6, you're going to have to babysit for like an hour. Or get in the car and just shut up in the back seat. You know what I mean? I was very much a mom like that. I remember like, that was like right when the minivans came out with the movies. I was like, "You're sick today? She ain't too sick. Come on, get the sleeping bag." And they would be in the van, just like driving around with me, just like crazy stuff, making it happen for our clients and for our kids.
Yeah.
So you were meant to do all this because you spent 5 to 7 years making your kids like really awesome humans, right? Do you know that?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so back to real estate. What is happening in the market in 53172? That's South Milwaukee. Although realtors like cover the whole state, they kind of like, you just wanted to dominate that zip code, South Milwaukee. What's going on there?
I love South Milwaukee, and I'm going to tell you why. I've been in markets, and I still serve markets such as Bayview, Oak Creek, Franklin. South Milwaukee is the alternative to those areas that are oversaturated, overpriced. What's happening in the market is that these are homes in South Milwaukee that were mostly built in the 50s and 60s. So they have been in the same hands for dozens of years. And so what's happening is those are all sellers that are now aging out of those homes. And this is a prime location for first-time home buyers to capitalize on these beautifully maintained, perfect homes for them. And so what I'm seeing is a lot of buyers looking at this area for their homes. And what's going on with you? I know you are dominating the market here. Everybody knows who you are.
Yes.
Your face is everywhere. What's going on in your market?
I think that came from like having kids in football. Like I have football moms, I have soccer moms, I have band moms. I went to high school here. I raised my kids in Slinger. I was on TV in Hartford. I love Hartford. Lived as a young adult in Jackson. I just like know the area. So when I like meet somebody, I'll be like, oh my God, you totally are 8th Avenue kind of people. By the library, you would love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I kind of just know what's happening. I will sell anywhere, right? Because like, what happens if you sell to someone in West Bend? They'll be like, oh, I have a place up north. Great, I can sell it for you. But my passion and my love for the people are just here because I just feel like I know them so well. What's happening in this market is, let's make a plan. It's fast and furious, or it can be slow. What is your plan? And that's where I like start off.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, what advice would you give to moms coming into the real estate market if they wanted to be a realtor?
Absolutely. What I would say is find a team, join a team when you're starting out. That was one of the best decisions I made. I joined the Mike Borowski team at Homestead. I am instantly connected to leads right away, so I can get busy and get out there. And then the next step is having a mentor, somebody who's going to help you grow your business and really build your brand. Wendy, let me tell you something though. If I could come out here and be with you on your team, I just know my future would be bright. I mean, you are it. You have scaled your business. You are now expanding. You have shared with me what your goals are and what your future looks like. And I am just so impressed with you and the way that your mind works and all of these ideas you've had, and you do them.
Yeah.
You don't just talk about it, you do it.
Right.
And I'm so impressed by you.
I appreciate that. I think like I'm a natural born leader, but more importantly, I love people, and I'm a giver. So that comes back to like, I just want to see you do good. I teach classes. I tell my people, if you're joining my team, the streets are all golden, just walk them with me. I don't want any people behind me. I want shoulder to shoulder as we walk the streets of all of Wisconsin, but mostly Washington County, Dodge County, walk the golden streets with me. It's been a really great journey. I have 2 more questions for you, okay? How do you see your business and your life, right, your private life too, in 5 years? How do you see it?
Wendy, I have my sights set on developing my specialty in one area, and you're going to be the first to hear this. I have always loved these old historic homes.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity for me to start volunteering with the Milwaukee County Historical Society, and I'm jumping on that opportunity. And then I'm just going to immerse myself and become a student again. Franklin Lloyd Wright is one of my favorite designers and architects. So,
do you know I have a lake house right now on Little Cedar?
I saw that. It's beautiful.
It's a great price.
And so,
side note.
Yeah. So becoming the go-to person in all of Milwaukee County for historic properties I will be that girl.
That's so great because it's such a niche. And when I sell Victorian homes or my lake house right now, it's such a niche that you'll have to know like all the people that do wood. You'll have to know contractors that can do wood railings.
Yes.
Like you're going to know all that. You're going to do good.
Yeah. There's all sorts of, even when it comes down to inspectors, you can't just get anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need an inspector who knows these historic properties. And so I'm so excited to start immersing myself in that and learning that. What about you? What's on your horizon?
I don't know. I'm like, and everybody's going to start laughing right now. I'm like, I got 5 good years. I'm going to hustle this hard for 5 years and I'm going to slow down. And then my husband's like, okay, Wendy. I just love it so much. I don't know. I have like crazy goals. We'll see if we reach them. I mean, I will. So
I see you owning property in other countries with as much as you travel.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, I really should.
You get licensed in a whole nother country.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know about that. Okay, because I like to spend it too. I like to vacation, as everybody knows. So I think this is really good because you're like spiritual, and I've based my whole life when times were just like horrible. I always thought this, and like it's happening to me where I like can't believe my life is this great. And I don't mean like I'm not rich. Just I got such a good husband. My kids are so great. My grandkids are so awesome. I lived at the land of Oz. I'm just like such in a happy place. So if you were gonna say, like for me, my quote of my whole life is ask, believe, and receive. And I remember I worked full-time and I was selling real estate. And I had a gallbladder attack, but I didn't know it was. And it was like super embarrassing because they took me out by ambulance at a sales meeting. Super embarrassing. And then the doctor's like, and I'm like, I really thought I was dying. It's super painful. And you don't know where it's coming from. It was super embarrassing. Because I was on the 2nd floor and they couldn't get me down the stretcher. Because they send like 19-year-old boys and I'm like, it was horrible. Anyways, I go to the hospital and the guy says, well, you got the 3 Fs. You're fat, over 50, and female. It's the gallbladder. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, if I died today, I would be so mad that I didn't do real estate full time.
Sure.
So that's what changed it for me. And then there was dark times. I had a lot of kids and I was divorced. And I just remember thinking, these kids are too much. One person cannot raise these kids for the world the way it's my duty to as a mom. My duty is to raise kids for the world. So So dads would be like, you got a great daughter there. Yeah. Or dads would say, your son's great, I'm happy they're getting married, right? That for me, it's always like ask, believe, and receive, and I just believe it. There was times where I just like asked for like a co-coach, and I got Kevin. There was times where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my gallbladder out. Be more educated if you do that, okay? I'm going to quit my full-time job because I'm just going to ask, believe, and receive. I can't fail. And that's why I wanted to talk to you today. I'm going to go back to the question I want to ask you, is because I'm so impressed because even I didn't do it. And I had a husband that made great money until I almost died. I wasn't ready to do it full-time. I'm so impressed that you couldn't fail. Like, you took a chance on doing real estate full time. It's full commission. There's no paycheck. There's no gas cards. It's just a check when you finish the job. And our jobs are like 60 days out. Just because you get an accepted offer, this is for people that don't know this, you get an accepted offer, you don't get paid until like a week after it closes. Mm-hmm. So you're just, always like banking on yourself. Yep. So back to my question. Is there a quote that guided you through this journey?
Wendy, truly, it's mind over matter. And I always tell myself that. Your mindset is everything. When I would speak to you speak to your problems, you speak life over them. It's kind of funny, when I left my husband at the time, I didn't know how I would be able to get my apartment on my own, right?
Right.
I took a risk then. I had no money saved up. I didn't know how that was going to go. Fortunately enough, the company that I worked for, we got a bonus check. That was literally just enough for me to put the security deposit down. I didn't know how I was going to furnish the place, but I kept the faith. Turns out there was another apartment people that just skipped and left out. They had all brand new furniture.
Oh my gosh,
and I got to keep
awesome.
it. I furnished my whole apartment that way. When my car broke down, I got into an accident. My aunt came in from out of town. She didn't know anything because I'm very private. I keep my stuff to myself.
That's why I'm happy you're here today.
She brought me to the side and said, "Here, this is for you. I don't need to know what you spend it on." It was $1,000. I had to learn how to drive stick shift because it was the only car I could find for $600. And then the rest was enough money to get that car registered. And I drove that little beater around showing houses in this beat up little two car, So I just always kept the faith and knew that keep your mind positive because everything will work out.
Everything works out.
It always does.
Everything works out. You got to get through it. Because you got to go through it to get through it.
That's right.
Right? And that's where the grit comes in. That's where the hustle comes in. That's where I'm not failing. I'm not failing.
No.
So, I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Too. Thank you for having me.
So, and thank you for listening, tuning in, watching. And as always, if you have any questions about anything we talked about or anything real estate, you know what to do. Click below, and thank you for watching. Wendy Wendorf, Homestead Realty, sell, buy, and plan.